Energy Minister Gwede Mantashe says there is no prima facie evidence against him and he will be taking the state capture report on review. The ANC chairperson briefed members of the media just a little earlier on the allegations contained in Part 3 of the State Capture Commission report. Part 3 focuses on Bosasa graft. Of course, Bosasa was a facilities management company that got a lot of government deals. It's implicated Mantashe and other ANC leaders. eNCA's Pule Letshwiti-Jones was there. He joins us now. So, Pule, let's start by just getting a brief understanding of what Part 3 of the report actually says about Gwede Mantashe.
Well, Sally, yesterday we received the report just after 7:30 in the evening, and we went just to read around what had happened. And, there's numerous elements you find in the report as to how, Bosasa had spent just about 75 million in terms of bribing and, gratification gifts to official bearers and ANC politicians as well. And, made quite a good lucrative business to the tune of over 2 billion. And what it says about the ANC chairperson, who was then the Secretary General of the ANC at the time, is that he benefited and used his influence in terms of being close to Bosasa and, of course, securing businesses for them, which is now known as African Global Operations. It says that the then former Bosasa CEO and, of course, Director Pule Letshwiti-Jones had, of course, been one of those who was influential and led the process of having security upgrades at Mr. Mantashe's homes in Johannesburg and, of course, in the Eastern Cape. But, of course, Mr. Mantashe has honestly said, he says that this was an innocent move, and he hasn't denied not having Pule Letshwiti-Jones at his homes. But furthermore, what we also understand is that he says that there isn't prima facie evidence at this time, and therefore that's one of the reasons why he's taking this report on judicial review. He says that the assumptions have been made up, or rather have been used to build up a case, and he says that it's not factual. In fact, we called him yesterday in the evening just after 12, and he gave us eNCA just his response, saying that he was disappointed as to how some of the evidence that he had submitted before the commission, as he had appeared 4 times, was not actually being used to build up a strong case and look further into some of the facts. He says the report says that he will be subjected to investigation, and that upon any other finding, that's when they will be paving a way forward. But we can also confirm that he hasn't received a letter from the ANC's Integrity Committee in terms of any disciplinary hearings.
You say he has not?
Yes, he has not.
He has not. And that, of course, is a very interesting issue. So on the one hand, we've got this report. It's a very serious issue that it recommends he be probed for graft or corruption. He's saying there's not enough evidence. There's really nothing in it, and he's going to challenge it. But at the same time, we also know about the much talked about ANC step-aside rule, which clearly says if you've been charged, or in fact, if there are serious allegations against you, you should step aside. Is he going to?
He's saying that he will not be stepping aside at this point in time until, there is much more concrete, evidence against him to do so. And he's of the view that he's done nothing wrong. He's maintained he's done nothing wrong, saying all the evidence that he has submitted before the state capture was supposed to be used into determining what could have been the graft and, of course, corruption that had led to this abusive relationship between himself, other officials in the ANC, and, of course, controversial company Bosasa. And while that's the case, he says that he will be subjecting himself to other processes within the ANC that will be looking into this report. But there's quite a lot of individuals who have been fingered in this report, including the likes of Dudumieni, of course, and Nomvula Mkonyane, who's a senior ANC official within the party. And some of them have, of course, said that they will be taking legal action against or rather consulting with their lawyers to take legal action and to look into the report. We do know that Nomvula Mkonyane is one of them, who's confirmed to eNCA, saying she's consulting with lawyers. The ANC member of Parliament as well, and Parliament House of Chairman, Mr. Frolic, has said that he will also be consulting his lawyers to look into this matter, because he's also implicated for having facilitated a meeting with then ANC MP Vincent Smith and, of course, Bosasa to give them lucrative tender business deals. But during the presser, Mr. Mantashe has made it clear that he will not be stepping aside from the organization pending the outcome of further investigations. And this is what he had to say during the briefing.
Until we move beyond the point of there is a reasonable prospect that further investigation will uncover prima facie case against Mantashe. Once we move beyond that point, then we decide at that point. At this point in time, the Commission says there is no prima facie case against Mantashe, okay? And you say, yeah, there's no prima facie case against you, but step aside. That is religious, okay? That's very religious. You want me to pray for the future that there will be life thereafter. No. The Commission itself says there is no prima facie case against me. It says so. I have not said so. I presented myself to them, and they say there is no prima facie case against me. And you say I must step aside. That will be conscious. Consciousness is about dealing with material realities around you. But when there's no prima facie case and I step aside, I'm just impressing everybody else like you who wish to see me stepping aside quicker. I will step aside when we move beyond this point. When then I'm charged, good to know there is a prima facie case, you are charged, I will step aside because that's how it works.
All right, so that is Gwede Mantashe, just speaking a little earlier this afternoon. Thank you very much for bringing us up to date. eNCA's Pule Letshwiti-Jones.